Hey everybody. Well, as promised, I said I was going to do another update on the boomerang. Got a photo bomber down there. It is now completely ready to go. I literally installed the last piece of the puzzle about 2 seconds ago. What we have is a Kingtech 100 Generation 2. It is used. It's only got, I think, minutes of runtime on it, so very lightly used. And as you can see here, complexity is at a very low. Very simple. Anybody can figure that mess out. I can barely figure it out. I just primed the system. For those that are not familiar with a turbine setup, obviously your main fuel tank is here, but all the fuel runs through this guy right here, which is a UAT or an air trap. So a lot of the old-timer glow flyers or ducted fan flyers would call this like a header tank or a hopper tank or a feeder tank. What it is as this fuel level drops, this tank right here always stays full. And it has a special like a mesh type filter screen on the inside. So all of the fuel that runs out through here and goes into the pump is, for the most part, dirt and bubble free. Because even though the modern turbines are not as finicky, if you will, when it comes to getting air in the system, still, you want to try to get the fuel to the turbine as bubble free and as clean as possible. Now the motor that's in my Panther is a very old school JetCat P70. That one is very finicky. Any air gets into the system at all, that one will flame out. So everything is all set and ready to go for the most part. The downside to sport jets, especially like this, in this size, is it gets really tight and complicated trying to figure out where to put things. Thankfully, the turbine battery was able to fit right up in here. I'm just going to take a piece of 1/4-inch balsa with a piece of Velcro on it, stick it right there just so it can't come out. The positive thing is there's no vibrations in these jets. If there is, then you got a big problem with that guy back there. So, unlike flying giant scale airplanes that are usually gas powered, you don't have to worry about the vibration issues with the turbine stuff. But let's see. I just want to go over everything because I'm sure people are curious. Right here I have 2 fill valves right here for gear and brakes. Each one has its own meter, so I can always see if I have air in the system. This servo here operates the valve for the retracts, and this servo here operates this valve for the brakes. Right here is a JR Matchbox. Came with the airplane, so I figured why mess with it. It's basically the rudders and the nose wheel are plugged into this, and then just one plug going to the receiver, which is right here on the side. Of course, coming off the UAT goes to the fuel pump, and then pump goes directly back to the turbine. Very strategic and complex setup here. We have an on-off switch literally glued to a block. This is the ECU for the turbine. So basically this is the computer, this is the brains that talks to the turbine. And that's about it. Receiver battery is tucked into the side here and running down. It's really a tight fit, can't go anywhere. So, waiting for the sun to kind of settle a little bit so I have more shade in the backyard. And we're going to take this bad boy out and get it fired up. And if everything goes well, we will possibly have a test flight tomorrow. Stay tuned. Okay, everything seems to be set and ready to go. Get our throttle trim up here. Everything on board says it's ready. At least according to this thing, it says it's ready. Fuel valve is on. Fire extinguisher is right there. I can hear it thinking about it. Now we're cooling. My radio in the shade. Well, that was uneventful. Kind of how I like it. Fired right up, ran good. Throttle transition is very, very good. A lot better than that old Jet Cat that I have. Get quite a bit of heat coming up under my stab there, but the underside of the stab does have the aluminum tape on there just as a precaution. But couldn't be happier. What you're hearing right now is the cooling cycle. The starter motor, you can hear it there. What that does is the starter motor spins and it's allowing cooling to happen. It's blowing hot air out the back of the turbine, and it'll keep doing little cycles like that until it reaches a certain temperature. Then it'll shut off, then I can unplug everything. So the way I see it, this thing's ready to fly. Hopefully the weather holds out for tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Later.